Good evening and welcome to Open-Minded Mystics, episode 109 with Katie Easterwood. She's back and she's brought the Wisdom Council with her, and we are so excited. They're actually inseparable. And you know what? We're starting to really enjoy having her here. So please prepare your questions. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. I am so excited. My name is Donna V. It is May 15th, episode 109 with Katie Easterwood. Let's see if I can give you some more information tonight. Don't forget that May 15th is today. May 22nd is our next live event at Salon Gossip at 1036 Broad Street in Bloomfield from 7 p.m. to 8:30. It's $30 to join. You can Venmo at Kim-Mazzella-1 to join, and email us to hold your spot. Now, I'm going to come on out and I'm going to bring out the most amazing host, my friend, your friend too, Tracy Locke.
Hey!
Tracy Locke, what's going on?
This morning. What's happening, Mama?
Nothing much. I'm just, excited. It's May 15th, middle of the month.
Can you believe it is May 15th? Open-Minded Mystics, hello. Welcome to the middle of May. I'm sure there's some kind of astrological thing happening in the middle of May. Isn't there?
Probably. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure we'll have to bring Kim Mazzella out for that, though.
Yes, there is. They'll have
I know. Let's get her out here. Let's get her out. Kim Mazzella, welcome. Look at her. I love your background.
I love it too. It's
how are you?
Rain and sparkles.
Yeah,
hallelujah. Yes. What's happening, Mama?
I'm just so happy to be here. It's the middle of May. It's beautiful. I mean, today was beautiful. I got to spend some time outside, so I was happy about that. Just really appreciating. This is my time of year. I really appreciate, because we have a lot of months of good weather in front of us. So I always feel very happy about that.
Excited.
Yeah.
And coming into the comments is Triple M Treats. Who are these gorgeous ladies?
Oh.
It's hot. Is it hot in here? Or is it just me? Well, you know what? That's very, very sweet.
We love
that.
Triple M Treats. He is the best. And if you have any chocolate needs, that's the guy to go to, Triple M Treats. Triple M Treats, while you're here and listening, when are we coming out with an open-minded mystic crunch or something?
Something. We need
open up my mystic marshmallow? What would it be?
Oh, I don't know.
What would be the most mystical type of chocolate, I wonder?
Making me hungry, though.
Remember we did that
cacao.
mystical cacao. Yeah.
The
mystical cacao. Maybe we could have an open-minded mystical cacao. Say that 3 times fast.
Cacao.
Mystical cacao. And he could put a special something inside of it. I don't know. We could all hallucinate together. That sounds good to me.
Gold fleck.
Gold fleck.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah. Speaking of the comments, I just want to let everyone know that in the comments already is a link that you're going to want to check out later on when we are discussing all of the newness that Katie and the Wisdom Council have to offer tonight and to talk to us about. So I just want to let you know, look at the link already in the comments, but stay with us right now. But yeah. Ooh, Nan Leffingwell's here. Hello,
hey,
Nan.
Oh my gosh, that's a name we haven't seen in a while. What's up, Nan? It's so good to see your beautiful face. Did someone say cacao? Yes, we did. We're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's awesome.
We're already working on a brand new product.
Oh, that's amazing.
Ooh,
I love it.
Right. That's fantastic. So the question that I asked Kim that you may or may not know, I was saying it's the middle of the month. Is any kind of crazy astrological thing happening right now?
It's so funny because I normally do pay great attention to astrology, but now that whenever Mercury ended in retrograde, and I have been busy, so I really haven't been paying attention. But probably.
If anyone out there knows, let us know because
Well, Nan, I want you not to go anywhere because this show tonight is going to be off the charts. So Donna was referring to Katie Easterwood, and if you don't know who she is, you're going to fall in love with her. So she is a voice channel, and she channels the Wisdom Council, and it's One Spirit, One Heart. We had her on 2 weeks ago, and people loved it. So Donna and I literally fell on, we just magically, I don't even know how you would say this. We magically manifested meeting.
We were led.
Yes. In Sedona, Arizona.
Yes.
We went to the most interesting workshop that I've ever been to. It was an all-day workshop. It was at this really cool space. And we all fell in love with Katie. There were 3 of us there. There are more than 3, 3 of us in our group. And we fell in love with her. And I was just like, oh my God, she's just unbelievable. And we talked about it 2 weeks ago, but if you weren't here to see it, from the minute that we got in there, I'd say the minute it started till pretty much the end of it, there were tears streaming down my face.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same with Chris, same with Donna. And it was
Yeah.
like, what is happening here? So the fact that she's willing to come on Open Minded Mystics and speak with all of us is such a gift that I am so, so, so excited for. So Donna was saying, you can ask questions tonight, which is, I can't even believe she's going to do that. So she's going to do voice channeling, and you have the ability to ask questions. And Donna, what did she say to you were the only caveats?
Well, here's what you have to do. First of all, you can ask personal questions, but because it's the Wisdom Council that's going to be coming through and answering the questions, and we are going to energetically connect with the Wisdom Council. If it's a personal question, not a general question, you're going to want to allow us to say your name, and you can put where you're coming from. So, for instance, if I were asking a question, I would say Donna from New Jersey, and then I would have my question. Because what was explained, and which is pretty exciting, is that if I were to read the question, or if Kim read the question, or if Tracy read the question, the Wisdom Council would assume or feel or connect that it's coming from one of us. So for you to be able to get the answer that you're looking for, all we ask is for you to please disclose your name and where you're coming from. And I say that because a lot of times in the comments, if you haven't given permission to StreamYard, it'll just say Facebook user or, YouTube user. So I want to make sure that that's something that you can do. Like, for instance, if my friend here wanted to ask a question, you would put Lauren, because that is your handle, Vienna, but your name is actually Lauren. So, and I know that, and I just ousted her, and that's my cousin. Hello. I also want to say happy Mother's Day to everyone that celebrated,
Yes.
Whether you are a plant mom, a dog mom, a fur mom, whatever, or a human mom, or just a spiritual being mom, a Mother Earth, maybe. I want to say happy Mother's Day to all of you out there, whatever way that connects for you. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm so excited because Katie has so many things that she's going to talk to us about, but we are really going to be connected tonight with the Wisdom Council. So where Katie was here last time, which is why we're yapping a lot and giving up all of her information, like about her books.
Yes. Well,
right?
first I want to give the other flyer, because what you're saying is exactly right. So Katie has Choosing the Journey Within the Spirit. So what this is amazing. And I did it last week. You can call and connect with Katie, and she will voice channel for you the Wisdom Council. So what that means is you get a half an hour, a Zoom. She sets that up. Here's the thing I want to talk to my people that are afraid of tech. Sometimes when you try to get these places and they're like, oh God, you're trying to make an appointment and it's a nightmare. And you're like, oh, I'll never get an appointment. This was the easiest thing. We've got to get this, ladies. It was the easiest thing to do. You go on to her website, you choose a time, they confirm it, and then they send you the Zoom link right away. So for $24.95, that's $25, which is nothing. You know the mystical world, ladies and gentlemen. You get a half an hour Zoom with Katie and the Wisdom Council, and you can ask anything you want. And they voice channel, and she gives you the information. She leads you on a path. And then not only that, she sends you the link so you can go over it and over it.
Wow.
It was such an incredible experience. And this flyer right here gives you all the information that you would need to make those appointments. I'm definitely doing another appointment because, as Katie will tell you, they give you a ton of information. So when you do this call, make sure you have a notebook with you with a pen and you're ready to take notes. But again, she'll send you, the link as well. But you will be blown away about the information that they give you. So it's unbelievable. And $24.95, like what?
Yeah. So you would go to Wisdom Council, onespirit.oneheart.com to make your appointment. It's scrolling across the bottom. It's also on the bottom of this beautiful flyer that you see. And if you look at our socials, you'll see that it's been posted there several times, and we will repost it this evening. That's something that's an easy one we can do for Katie. She's amazing.
Yeah, that's great. And then not only that, so that's really exciting. Katie she's completing and just has completed and is just now on Amazon, her third book in a series.
It's exciting.
Oh, yeah. This was how it started for us, Choosing the Journey Within. I want to show you the facelift. This is absolutely stunning. Are you ready for this? I love this artwork.
Wow.
It is beautiful. It looks gorgeous, magical, just looking at it.
Yes.
And I love it so much. That's beautiful. And then this, I want to say, is
That's
Reflections of
gorgeous.
Spirit, Discovering Your True Self, Channeled Guidance from Spirit. And then the third, and I think I might be out of order on that.
Well, it's all right. You know,
Moments with
here's the
Spirit.
exciting part about all that. We
I
talked to
think I
Katie,
did get it right.
and she's going to tell us too. But the cool part is it's a series, but there's no order that you have to go in. Which
No.
I think, I love to read. And so if I see a book and it catches my eye and I pick it up, I love the fact that it doesn't have to be in any order. I can just.
Well, speaking of that, which is funny. So this beautiful book, which is the first of the series that she has, Choosing the Journey Within, it's a guidebook and it's a workbook that you do and you go through it. But there are some people like myself who just like to open books, like the phone book, and find a friend. But I like to just open books. And that is actually what this book is good for, because it is a book that is, I want to say it's 365 days. And you are able to open it, and there are reflections for each day, or was it each week? Katie, I'm gonna have to ask you that question. I'm waiting for the Wisdom Council to come into my brain and clarify it for me, but I'm trying so hard. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no matter what it is, we're going to find out from the horse's mouth. We're going to find out. Katie, the author, is here with us. Wisdom Council's here. So before we get into the voice channeling, we're going to speak to Katie a little bit, and then we will get into the voice channel. But I just want to remind you, all the open-minded mystics people out there, all you great mystics, you can ask questions. Don't let this opportunity go by you. This is so cool. So all you have to do is write where you're coming from, as Donna said, and you can ask any kind of question you want. So I am so excited to get this night started.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I am so ready.
Without further ado, please welcome Katie Easterwood, our voice channel for the Wisdom Council.
Hi to everybody out there.
Hello,
Good.
hello,
I'm going to put you on the big screen. Let's go.
All right,
Okay.
Here we go. There she is. Hi.
Looking
Katie.
beautiful in her lavender.
Hi.
We talked about that beforehand. We were all wearing green, and she's wearing this gorgeous lavender, which I love. It looks so good. So, Katie, you heard what we were talking about, I'm sure. We are so excited for you and with you about all the exciting things that are happening. I told them all about our call and how they can call you and have a consultation with the Wisdom Council, which is unbelievable. And
if somebody doesn't want to go do Zoom, it can be by phone also.
Okay.
So they get to see me and their energy coming through me if they do Zoom. So it's either way.
Yeah. And what I was telling you, I think I told you this too, but I think it's really important. Making an appointment with you was the easiest thing I've ever done. I wish all doctors' offices and everything else had appointments like that. It was like done, which makes it huge. Now, the exciting part is, let's talk about your new book.
Okay. Well, the Wisdom Council was listening to you because, like I said, they're already present, and they want to clarify it's their book. So there is a difference between me and them, mainly because I would never, in my whole life, of all the things I dreamed I was doing, it would be never to write a book. English was my least favorite topic. In high school, it was science and math, and then I went on to environmental protection, and then into therapy, and writing is low there. So I do not believe that is what I came in this life to do. So I'm the one that takes their dictation. And when you're reading the words, and that's why sometimes it does sound more ethereal when you read it, it is direct from them. They're either talking to me. On the first book, sometimes they started typing. They can do that through me. So because it's a full body, they come into my full body. So it really, if you're getting any one of the books, you're getting the full guidance of non-physical. It just comes through me, and I'm in a trance state when it's happening. So that's why my friend that does the editing, to make sure, to the extent we can, that things are spelled right and the right words in the right place and stuff like that, does the editing. But you're right that any book, you would follow. They would always tell you follow, and they're talking with me. You would follow your inner intuition and be guided to whatever book you're being called to do, because that information, and you're going to get the same path of guidance. It's just delivered in different ways. The first book you talked about, and you had them in the right order, the Choosing the Path Within, is a structured approach for somebody that really hasn't accomplished hearing their spirit within and receiving that guidance, and there's blocks that create that. So it's really to help you with the adventures, or what I call exercises, to get to the point that you hear your own internal guidance and you know the gifts that your spirit came to share with the world. The second book is what they would call more advanced, for somebody already pretty advanced in the journey and is hearing their guidance most of the time. It's really taking the concepts to the next level to get you to raise your vibration to the highest level there is, and the suggestions for doing that. And then this exciting, I always get most excited about the current one. It just came out yesterday and today on Amazon, and it's 52 weeks, but there's enough information there. It's like each of the 52 are 2 pages, and there's one page with this big, beautiful picture that they're transmitting their energy and message non-verbally to you and engaging the right hemisphere of your brain, and then points of inspiration. So when you want a quick inspirational hit, you look at that, you just open it to where you want and read that, and it's doing that. If you want to do more on that topic, then the second page is something you'd spend the rest of the week working on, the concepts to raise your vibration, whether it's compassion or loving kindness or whatever is being talked about to the higher level. So they designed it where if somebody just wants a quick hit, they're going to get it, but they're going to get both parts of their brain engaged, so they really get the message at all level. Or you could actually work on it, taking all their input on the next page and work on it during the week.
I'm going to order mine tonight.
I know. I'm so excited. So I have a quick question that people asked last time that you were on the show regarding when they call to speak to the Wisdom Council. So I had several messages say to me, do you have to have a clear vision when you call? Meaning some people were a little hesitant because they're like, I don't really know what I need to know. That's kind of why I want to speak to the Wisdom Council. Can I speak to her? And the words they used were being unclear with what my future is.
That's what most people want to talk to them about, is being unclear what their future is. So you definitely can do that, but they respond to questions. So if you said something broad, like, do you have guidance for me? It would probably be broad guidance.
Sure.
But if they just start talking about whatever it is they're struggling with or the issues they're thinking about, then the council can come in and connect with that and give you guidance on that. So your questions don't have to be clear, but you need to be able to talk about kind of the reason you're wanting input.
Yes. Well, we are so excited that you came back. We had such an incredible reaction from our audience. They were so excited to meet you.
So receptive and so open and excited. But you're right. Like, I think that part of it is we are so trained to not feel comfortable asking anything specific. It's like going to someone's house and they have a bowl of candy out and you're going to wait until the candy's offered. And it's one of those, that's the kind of feeling I think I know I would get, or I get. So I could see why if someone is maybe hesitant, because I know that we talked about that, Tracy and I, and people are just, I think people are shy about asking like things like that.
Yeah, people get intimidated. They don't know.
That's a good word.
Well, I think that's not the only thing that intimidates people. At least it wasn't for me. That's why I think it's good you're letting them see them channel through me tonight. 50 years ago, I would see psychics all the time. Since, I got out of high school, I was seeing psychics. Yeah. And I heard it where I was in Sacramento at the time. This person was channeling and he was very good. And Walter was his first name. And I should go see him. And actually, I saw him for 1 hour and I still have his recording he gave me. That has impacted me. What he said to me impacted me my whole life. But he channeled several specific entities and then himself was an intuitive. And so when I was scared to death. I talked to many psychics. I hadn't talked to non-physical energy.
Right.
And actually when I went in there and he said, well, who do you want to talk to? You want to talk to this entity or me? And I said, well, whoever can help me best, but if you can do it, I'm coming. So even at that point, I stepped out and I thought, I see him, I feel his energy, I know it. Right. So, and of course, since then, I've been to many Abraham Hicks workshops and all the rest, and I'm comfortable with it. But I think the whole thing if somebody hasn't ever been present with non-physical energy channeling through, even though you have the same energy in your body, it gives you pause. So if people see it, they're more comfortable with it.
Yeah,
Agree
and
with
we
that.
are going to be lucky enough to see Katie and the Wisdom Council tonight, which I can't even believe we're allowed to do, which is so cool. So again, if you have questions, let us know. Donna will filter those through, and I think, girls, Kim, do you have any questions before we get started? Because I know everyone's like, bring on the Wisdom Council.
No, I'm just really excited to see how it works, and I'm excited to see it in action, and I'm excited to see questions answered. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Very
Okay,
cool.
so remember, they're not, I've mentioned this before, they're not time conscious beings. So if you think they're taking too long on one person's answer or anything, they will not be offended if you need to step in and channel them to different directions. Because
Okay.
I don't control them. Once I let go, they blend with my spiritual energy too, as they will be blending with yours. They're already sending out every energy to everybody that's hooked into this, because they kind of are aware of all of that.
Right.
But I have no control over what they're going to say and what they're going to do or the timing. So you guys are the ones that will facilitate that.
All right. Well, do you want to start out? I think Kim or Donna, if we start out with our own questions, just to kind of show everybody how it's done, what we're doing, so everybody gets like a little bit of a gist of what's happening. I am so excited for this. So I can start, or Kim or Donna, whoever wants to start. Go ahead.
You or Kim. I'm gonna wait.
I'm like you, Tracy.
Right.
You start.
Okay,
You know how it
I'll
works.
start. So I would, first of all, I want to thank the Wisdom Council for being here and allowing us to interact with them. We're so honored and excited, and just I can't explain how excited we all are. So one of the things that I've been noticing of late for me and friends of mine is with a lot of what is happening in the world that is making people very nervous and unsettled. It feels like it's a difficult time in the world to try to get your bearings. And a lot of people have come to me and said, how do you get your bearings when all this chaos is happening? And how do you not allow it to like sweep you down the river of like, oh my gosh, the world is, more specifically the United States. The United States is going down this crazy path. How do I center myself and just allow that whatever is supposed to happen for me that's good will happen, and that I don't have to be scared or worried or nervous?
Thank you, Tracy, for asking the question. We could speak the rest of the hour on that, so we'll try to hit the high points. It's something we address in every book, and it's the hardest for you. It's something we've just recently said to Katie, that she's never understood how we use the term different between spirit and soul. Spirit, we use the term to mean the actual creative energy of the universe that is within you and animating your body, and you are not separated from it even though you're in the body. It is the eternal you that existed before and will after this life. When we use the word soul, it is that energy combined with your body and your mind that represents kind of the energy that manifests in this lifetime. So when you're in touch with the purity of your spirit, you're not worried about these kind of things. And that's why we keep stressing to have quiet time for 20 minutes a day and focus on slow breathing in your heart, whether it's in nature, in a peaceful environment that you can create, and center yourself and tap into that internal wisdom within you. If you don't, you're going to get buffeted by all the storms, and that is in our last book. One of the weeks is staying calm in the eye of the storm. And every place we keep addressing, from the time you're born into your body, you're trained not to pay attention to your instincts, intuition, your creative imagination. You're told all your spirit signals you're receiving are your imagination. And you're trained by your culture to focus on your external environment, to determine who you are and what you value and how to be successful, rather than relying on your spirit that has this power, that has this knowledge. So everything we do is to try to connect you with your spirit, and you won't have any of those worries. your spirit, when we say, knows and resonates with that there is nothing wrong with the world. Everything is exactly as it should be. You all come here at this time for it. You all come here. We've used the example recently with Katie, so she understands. It's like all of you, she won't watch horror shows, and she doesn't watch things where people get killed and stuff like that. But many of you go to those for entertainment. It's excitement. Your spirit really isn't much different. Earth is a playground. You come here to play. You go to dramas at movies. You come to Earth to experience drama. So the hardest thing for people to understand is Hitler as spirit came in to have the role of being Hitler, to allow others to advance more and counter that energy. So it's like spirits coming in and saying, oh, I'll take this role. I'll take this role. And everybody is following what they do. And it's hard to know whether the Dalai Lama is choosing the harder course of loving kindness, or Hitler, who had to show such hatred and negative energy. But both of them are the same purity of spirit coming in. It is a playground, and you guys are acting. Katie relates to it as a show she saw in Star Trek. She loved Star Trek because she thought it was very spiritual. And one of the Star Trek episodes, they all beamed down to this planet, and they were all creating these things, and different ones were getting killed and fighting each other. And at the end, these spirit beings showed up, and they all popped up and came back to life and said, we're sorry. We thought you knew this was a planet that you were to have fun and play, and none of this was serious or real.
I love this.
And that really is what we're trying to say is you come here for these adventures. Many of who are on this show came here to elevate and balance the energy that's gotten out of balance on Earth with the negativity. The goal is not that there's no negativity here. The goal is it's balanced. And both our channel and the three of you and all attracted to this program would be soul family members that came in to help raise the vibration of the planet at this time by radiating energy. But we want you to know, we say it repeatedly, do not watch the negative news. Anything that you do not have control over, that you're going to take action to change, don't feed your soul and your spirit and your life course with that energy. Don't pay attention to it. Don't read the negative news. Don't engage. This is a quote from our recent book. Don't engage in negative conversations with other people or in your own mind. You promote that energy and you attract it to yourself.
Wow.
So trust that the spiritual nature of things has control over things, and that all of you came for the drama of life upon this planet and the play. And some people are going to want to change things for the better. So some people have to be acting out the role that has to be changed. But we guarantee you the life energy, and each person on this planet is the same energy that you're all connected to. And so know what you get motivated to change. It doesn't mean accept it all, but you're called for things. Like she was called early on to work to try to, the first Earth Day, started recycling drives and protect the environment. She's always felt very tied to the environment because she's had very many shamanic lives where she was grounded in the earth that way. But so we're not saying ignore it, but we're saying ignoring everything that you're not being called from within to change.
Ooh, I like that.
I love that.
You might be
That's
motivated to run for office to change things. You may be motivated to demonstrate to change things. That's great. That's your inner spirit coming to expand by that expansion on earth. But don't feed yourself the negativity that disempowers you. Feed yourself with the love that from us that is always around you, and the love that resides within you that is the core of your being and will be who you are once you transition from this body.
I love that.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's such food for thought. I actually have a question, and it's this shallow question that I've always thought I wanted to know the answer to, and I've made peace with it, but I just don't get it. So I am hard of hearing, and sometimes it's frightening, right? If I don't have my hearing aids in, I'm so blessed that I have hearing aids and that I could hear, but sometimes it's terrifying. It's terrifying to be out in the world and not be able to hear. And I've made mostly peace with it. And I'm grateful that there's opportunities. I live in a time where you can have hearing aids, but I just wonder why, like, why are people hard of hearing sometimes? Like, and why am I? I mean, I think that's something I would have asked Abraham Hicks if I ever met them. So now I'm asking the Wisdom Council.
That really is something. Your spirit might not have, when it entered this earth, picked that, but that might be easier for you to cope with than being blind and entering the world being blind and having to cope with it the same way with a seeing eye dog or something like that. But your spirit chooses to have some type of experience like that for several reasons. One is to overcome that energy within yourself. So you're contributing to energy expansion by working through those fears yourself and releasing fear. And the other is it increases your empathy for people who do have problems that they struggle with too, so you can relate to them more and do it. We would tell you that, and we know hearing a car coming up from behind you or footsteps from behind you, all of that is more peace of mind in the environment all of you live in. But the more you can ask your guides for assistance and protection, and that you can be in touch with your instincts and intuition, the more you don't have to rely on that physical sense. You have your psychic senses that do not need to hear them to know somebody's approaching you and the hair on the back of your neck is standing up, or that there's a problem. So the other thing that's driving you in this life is to develop and rely on your psychic senses, your psychic hearing. Like, we dictate the whole book through her. Her first thing after her father died that she heard, she was driving near the airport, LA airport, and a car was coming across, cutting into a lane and going to knock her out of it. And it was a life-threatening situation because she didn't realize the vehicle next to her was a semi-truck. So her instinct would have been to move over to the next lane to keep from being hit. And she heard a very loud, commanding voice that said, "Stay in your lane." And she knew that she gets cold chills when we say that. She knew to the core of her being, her life depended upon the way she received that message. And that was the first auditory message she had ever received that way, that she had to stay in the lane. And when she was hit and got control over the car, she looked to her left, and literally these big semi wheels were right next to her.
Wow.
And she was aware they would have been on top of her had she moved over. So we share that. We use her as examples, but you can use your psychic audible senses in the same way you use your physical senses and ask for our guidance. We cannot offer anything to somebody they're not asking for. It is your life and your spirit's choice. But if you ask for assistance of any of your angels, you all have at least one guardian angel with you and multiple guides with you at any point in time. You can ask any of us, any master being you relate to, any angel you relate to. We're omnipresent. We can be everywhere. You can ask anyone for assistance. If you're leaving your house and you're fearful, ask that your fear be taken away and you be protected and guided on a safe journey that day. So there's nothing about your physical senses that you need to be safe in the world, but you need to switch to the power that you are of spirit.
That's it. It's funny because my next question was going to be about anxiety, but you kind of answered it. So I didn't really need to ask it, because sometimes I've done a lot of work on anxiety, but sometimes it really still comes up in my life. It feels like it's always something I'm always going to be working on. Do we get to the other side of these things eventually and not ever have to be anxious again?
It depends on why your spirit chose this life. And you dealing with anxiety makes you more sensitive and dealing with people as a coach that struggle. Yes, it's a thoughts, your thoughts which is of your mind, not of your spirit. So the more you can become letting spirit manifest in your life to live your life through you, as Katie has had to try to do for us to be able to channel through her, the more that will leave you. But it's working with your thoughts. Don't feed yourself with anxiety thoughts. The only thing the therapist in her is trying to stay under control, not to say something. Anxiety is driven by thoughts, and you can block anxiety with your thoughts too. So the way to not have problems with anxiety is not let yourself think any anxiety producing thoughts. And you are the one in control of that, nobody else.
Right.
Now, there are some levels of anxiety that seem to be inherited in biochemical and that are pretty intense anxiety that may need some medications for the brain energy to happen. But you can do a lot through your spirit and manifesting your spirit and controlling your thoughts and watching what you feed yourself with. If you feed yourself with the negativity of the outside world and the fear of it, you're going to be anxious. You're going to be afraid to even send your kids to school these days with the shooting.
Yeah, that's
All
true.
you can do is surround them by light and bless them. No, we can guarantee you no spirit leaves this earth before they have completed their work. And when they come in, even ones that are killed in shootings, or everybody that crashes in a plane together has had that agreement before they come into earth.
Wow.
That is hard for those of you in human form to accept that because your loss is so hard for you and you love ones. But even babies that come in to live a day or two have volunteered to do that as spirit, and they'll pop into another life quickly, but they volunteer to do that to provide the experience to the parents to have that energetic growth of coping with that and dealing with that.
Right. Big stuff.
I have a question from Carla in Delaware. Okay, so Carla in Delaware's question is, how do I handle a sibling that is putting up roadblocks in the care of our parents? They're not helping at all, and they're actually stalling any forward movement.
Our answer always would be by loving them, blessing them, love them, and realize their opinion and perspective is different than yours. We do not see their intention as trying to put up blocks. Their intention is trying to do what they think is right for your parents, which is different than what you think is right with your parents. And the reality in this world is there really is no absolute right or wrong. Matter of fact, that surprised Katie, we just wrote that in this book that just came out, is there is an absolute truth in the non-physical plane. There is not an absolute truth when you come into the body on earth because you're all acting out roles. So your sibling has their view, you have your view, your parents may have a whole other view. And it may be bringing people together and saying, okay, you both make your cases. And it's if your parents are at a point they can decide what do you decide is best. The other part we would say to you that we're feeling a need to say to you is also recognize that all your biological family is not your soul family members.
Wow.
So the sibling that is very different than you in view, we're not feeling is the reason you came into this life in that family. One of your parents is who you spiritually were tied to and part of your soul family. So you really have different experiences, different backgrounds, different reasons you came into this life and different views. So if you can work as hard as it is, and we know because all of you go through this. This is part of why you have families, is to kind of work through some of these issues, is to tap into the love in you. And that does not mean you have to be close to the sibling causing you conflict, but love and bless them and let them go their path and protect yourself from any energy. See yourself surrounded by white light when you're there, but realize you're not going to change them and they're not going to change you because you both have different views. It's just accepting that there is a loving, pure spirit in each one acting out what they came to do in this life, and trying to sort through helping your parents, if they can, make their choices of the decision that's right, because in the end, it's their spirit that needs to go. And maybe it has to be that you reach some peace that the direction you or the other one is trying to go, you try it and then do something different if it doesn't work out. But we guarantee you they're not meaning ill by your parents. We're not feeling that energy. in it. It's that you really have two very different views, and we don't see that you're going to reach that. But bringing your anxiety up and anger and frustration towards the person doesn't add to the healing of the situation. So you need to agree to disagree and meditate and pray on the best way. What's your spirit, your parent spirit's desire in the situation? Ask for guidance in your meditation on what not what you or the other one thinks is best, but what your parent spirit is making that decision. You also can communicate when you're not working well with somebody on the physical plane. You can meditate and do soul to soul communication and send love to that other sibling and just ask for peace, and always ask for the solution that may not be yours or that person's, but for the highest good for your parents. That's what you want to focus on, and you want to ask for, is that all of you be guided to the highest good of your parents.
I love that. If you're just joining us, I see the numbers changing. We are here today with the Wisdom Council, and we are speaking directly to them, and they're answering questions. If anyone has any questions, please put them in the comments. You can put your name and where you're writing in from. I have a question from somebody who's got the initials CH in Maryland. Why is it so hard for me to start writing? I want to be an author.
So we would ask you, what part of you wants to be an author? Is it your mind telling you you want to be an author? Are you feeling a passion deep within your self, calling yourself to express yourself that way? Do you feel like you're a storyteller that's going to entertain people? Is it more nonfiction and you have a message to get across? It is, if it's coming from your spirit, and your desire to be an author is a skill, one of your talents and skills you brought into this life to do, you will feel a passion. When you speak about it to other people, you will light up. They'll feel your energy. Your eyes will sparkle. You will smile. This positive energy will radiate from you. When somebody's tapped into why they're here and what they came to do, and they start to do it, then it's like an unstoppable energy. So we would ask you, again, you're going to hear us talk to everybody about that. Spend quiet time going within and tapping into that inner voice inside you. And if it's screaming out and saying, yes, I want to write the book, then meditate on what's blocking you. There's something about a fear that you're not going to be good enough is what we're feeling. We don't know if that's at a conscious level or not, or you're not sure how to do it. And if it's your passion, know that everything you need is going to be attracted to you. If that's what you came to do and it just is exciting, and you wake up each day thinking, I just can't write, I can't wait to write that book or this article or this story, then you're on the right track. If your mind, or you've been kind of trained to think that's a good thing to do, or I'd like to be able to do that, and it's coming from your mind, then it may be, you may be hitting blockages because it's not the right way for you to express that gift at this time. So spend some time. We actually see the energy can go both ways. And we see that pushing yourself to it and trying to using your mind to get yourself there is causing problems. And what it needs to come is from the inspiration of spirit within you and from your heart. And if you get quiet, maybe if you're wanting to write, to get still and quiet, like our channel becomes still and meditates when she's at the computer before she just starts writing, and set your intention that you want to write the purity of the message, whatever it is that comes, whether it's entertainment or nonfiction, from your spirit, and let your spirit soar through this and set that as your intention. And we think some of your blockages would fall to the wayside if you're really working with your intention from a heart center and quiet your mind. If our channel let her mind and fear about not being able to write and not being able to figure out how to publish a book took control, these 3 books never would have taken place.
Yeah.
She had to put her trust in us and the spirit that was guiding her, that animates her life, and just trust the process and and in this case, let it come, let us speak through her. In your case, it would be your spirit expressing the message that it came here to do.
Okay. I have a question from JD in Morristown. In Morristown, New Jersey. Her company was bought out by another company, and the new company wants her to change jobs. She is really good at her job. The new job is in the city, and she's not sure if she should change. More money, but not sure if she will like it. She can keep the current job. She just doesn't know what to do.
The first impression we had is it's a time for a change with her. We're not sure that those 2 options are the change. So she's at and it's hard because we're trying to connect with her energy, being the personal question. But we're really feeling that this is a time of change in her life. And it doesn't matter whether she stays where she's at or she moves to the next one. We're feeling she's going to be moving to something else, and she's going to be happier with that option. But so either choice she makes is like a stepping stone until this other energy shows up in her life. We're not seeing that there's a strong preference to one over the other for that other thing to appear in her life. But as good as she is at what she's doing, and as passionate as she can be about it, she's going to be much happier and more passionate about what comes and use these talents and skills she had. Just like our channel started out in the governor's office and then became a social worker and now is channeling. There's many just avenues that cut off in your life that take you in different places. And we're seeing this is for you. You're at the precipice of taking that step into something different. It's not clear to us what that is now. So we're really saying you can meditate and kind of ask your heart where you're going to be happiest in the temporary state you're in, because we see you getting to the next step with whatever decision you make. But it is the next step that's the important one.
Okay. Jody from Florida asks, how do I let go trying to control the relationships I am in? I'm having so much trouble trusting and keeping my mouth shut. Jody from Florida.
Your spirit didn't come here on earth to control anyone. And that's what we also address in all of our books. But in this last one is your control is over yourself. What you do is offer loving kindness to others, and you support them on their journey. If you're feeling that you need to control somebody, you're not accepting them for who they are and on their journey. You're not accepting them as an independent, powerful spiritual being connected to your energy and as powerful as you are. You do not know why that spirit came to this earth. They may have come to this earth to have problems. You may not have come to this earth to be with them all the time around that if your spirit doesn't choose to be with that. But we're not saying you don't support people. Hopefully in loving kindness, you support all, but you don't control people. You don't control their life journey. We don't control anybody's life journey. When we're giving you guidance, and we should back up and say this, we would want you to take it within and see what resonates within you as truth and incorporate that part. The rest may be appropriate, but appropriate for a later time in your life. Your spirit within should be making your decisions about your life course, and their spirit within needs to be making their decisions. So you need to center yourself and get clear with your spirit within in a position of loving kindness energy, and practices of gratitude daily is the easiest way to accomplish that energy level. and let go of the need to control and get into that energy of loving kindness and see how you as another spirit can support their journey the way they're choosing to make it. There's not a problem in making sure people are aware of all the choices ahead of them. But to control somebody else's choices is not what you came here for, and it's not healthy for either of you. You came to make the choices for your life journey. They are making the choices for their life journey. And even if they're your kids, it's their chosen journey they've come. You can give them options, you can give them loving kindness, but they're going to do their journey their way no matter how you try to control. And the more you try to control anyone, it just makes it resentful. So the more you can just accept somebody for who they are and on their journey and offering them loving support in the decisions, no problem with sharing information and your perspective, but it's when you go to the controlling, it means you want them to decide it your way. They didn't come to live their life your way.
That's a great one.
And that's hard for people to hear, especially if they have a child that's really doing something that's endangering them. That may be part of what their spirit did. That may be why the spirit came to have their parent to have to deal with that energy and reach acceptance of what they have control over or not. But the only control you have over your life is your life. And that's the only right you have to control. The wisdom, that's why we said earlier, there's no absolute truth. The wisdom you have, your spirit brought for your journey. The wisdom they have within them, if they could tap into it, is what they brought for their journey. The people that get elected for as your leaders don't have wisdom for the planet at stake. They have their own wisdom they brought. So when you are in physical form, all of you come with your separate ideas as spirit on what roles you're going to play. And unless you're in pure non-physical, the absolute truth doesn't exist. In our realm, absolute truth exists. But none of you have a right to control another person's journey on this earth. And we know that's hard to hear. And we offer that with all our love and support. Wow. So, and it has to be impacting you negatively for you to feel that way. You're trying to buffer yourself and your energy to feel that way. So we really encourage you to meditate, to get in touch with your spirit within, to give you, to be that calm in the eye of the storm that you'll be going through, that you're not impacted by whatever behaviors you're feeling a need to control, other than just trying to be a loving light for them. One of the things our channel and her tarot decks early on, she'd look at it, was the hermit always holding on the mountaintop, the light up. And that's how she saw herself, as a person that could hold the light for people to see their own path. And try to picture yourself that way, as holding loving kindness and the light for the person to see their path, but don't believe that you dictate the control of that path.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's excellent.
We only have about 10 minutes left, maybe a little less. And I'm going to jump in and ask a question for myself. I consider myself a very spiritual person, but at times I struggle with defensiveness. And I know that that is my Achilles heel. And it's something I really want to learn to work on. And I do try to meditate. But my part two of that question is like, how can I more effectively meditate? Because every time I try to meditate, I fall asleep.
You're probably a person that might need to do a walking meditation.
That's what I do.
A rhythmic approach, like walking figuring out a circle and just walking and looking at your feet and walking in a circle, so you stay in motion at first. Your mind is pretty intense, but we don't think you're dealing with that energy that you're trying to deal with is necessarily based on the meditation, because you're centered in the right way. At any point in time you're feeling off-centered, if you feel you're starting to react defensively, and the first thing, put a white shield up around you so the energy coming at you bounces off, because that's what you're feeling a need to defend yourself from. And again, nobody has a right to control you, so you can just dismiss something as somebody else's opinion, protect yourself from that energy, see it bouncing off from you, but take in that moment before you, when you feel yourself start to react in that moment, just shut your eyes and take 3 slow, deep breaths and center yourself and say, I choose not to react to this now. Even if somebody's pressuring you about something, just take a deep breath and center yourself and say, I'm going to need to think about that. So you just kind of let it go by. It's what they call deflecting. You deflect that energy. You don't react to that energy. You don't have to counterattack, but you don't have to move to it. But for a practice of, and we don't think you need to meditate to deal with that energy, but it is good for everybody to meditate, to touch into your spirit within. And we think a more movement oriented, when we started to come through our channel, she had never done this before. Suddenly at 2 a.m, she was putting on music and we were in her body and dancing to it to move as a meditative thing. And she has problems with her mobility in doing that. So not everybody meditates through just sitting and being still. You can do it through a music that raises you to a higher vibration and movement. That's why yoga does that, and Tai Chi does that to help people center. And you're probably a person that is just too high energy to be still, at least at first.
That resonates perfectly
So
true
true.
with me. It is. I have to practice the pause, and that was amazing. And I thank you so much for that answer.
And we want to say the answers that we've had for everybody, there's some nuggets in it for each person listening.
Oh, yeah.
Abraham says that a lot at their workshops that our channel was at, to say, even though we're answering one person's question, there's something in there in each answer that everybody could take to heart.
So I think something that came across through a question or a question below a question kind of goes along with a lot of this is people struggling with implementation when you want to write the book or when you want to make a move. What can we do? And I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask, when it becomes cloudy and difficult to implement what it is that we want to do to get to the next level.
If that's happening, it's your mind telling you you want to do it. Your soul and spirit are not behind it yet. And so you've either been conditioned to believe it's what you want to do or it's not the right time. When you're ready to write, the blocks that come up are either twofold. One is the blocks come from your environmental thinking and conditioning that you're not good enough. So you want to go with your internal critic to see if that's disempowering you in some way. The internal critic that's kind of been conditioned in your life to disempower you could be setting up blocks. Your spirit also sets up blocks. If you're trying to go a path that is not right for you to go, you will be encountering that resistance. So the first question you need to ask yourself in your guidance, and it could be a little of both, is it my mind setting up the blocks because I don't think I'm good enough, because there's this whole fear and stuff that can happen. It can be overwhelming with the brain. Or is it the spirit telling me I'm starting to push myself too hard in a direction and it hasn't coalesced to be the right path yet? So you have to make that choice. And if it's your mind blocking you, then you work, and we actually, the adventures we have in our first book on releasing the inner critic is just for that reason. You never get to hear your spirit unless you release that inner critic, because that will block you every path along your way. That's what the inner critic is there for. And so you release your inner spirit and you can hear the more subtle guidance of your spirit within. And your spirit will guide you to what you need to do. And your spirit, if that puts up a block, then you want to say, what more do I need to know to move forward? I feel my heart is calling me to write, or I wouldn't be doing it. But it's not happening. So ask for guidance, ask for what more you need to specifically know to release. We think you have both issues going on, that you have some mental negative talk and beliefs that are blocking you, and that's the worst blocking you right now, and that's blocking your spirit of moving you forward. We hear that writing is important to you, and it will happen if you can stop the environmental influence of the mind from disempowering you, and you can embrace the energy of spirit to come through you to allow your creativity. One of the points in our new book is just on creativity, your expression of creativity, and the other was on creative imagination. And that we see like a flower trying to bloom in your life, but it's like something's stepping on it and not letting it out. So there's a blessing of creative spiritual energy that's trying to come out, and you are the one stopping it. And so get in touch with your inner critic and what's happening. You might try to do automatic writing where you get in a peaceful state and saying, what are all the messages I'm sending myself that's blocking me from moving forward? And just build the trust of the energies within you, build the relationship with your spirit within you. That will be your power to move forward. Our channel had to absolutely trust us for these 3 books to come out of her being through us, because she knew she couldn't do it. And your spirit has a message that it wants to come through you to contribute to the world. And you need to open yourself to let your spirit soar. One of the other messages of the 52, let your spirit soar and let this energy come out.
I love that. And I just want to let everyone know that's watching that I just put the link back in the comments for Katie's page on Amazon where the 3 books are available. I will put the cover pictures up again. This is the first book that the Wisdom Council channeled. These are their books, Choosing the Journey Within. And then we have Reflections of Spirit, Discovering Your True Self, Channeled Guidance from Spirit. Inspiring Moments with Spirit, Channeled Guidance from Spirit. And all of them are channeled through Katie Easterwood, who is our guest this evening, who has been channeling the Wisdom Council. And we want to say thank you so much.
Thank
this
you.
hour went by so quickly, and
I know
so many things.
So many more questions too. Oh my goodness.
You're
we
amazing.
would be happy to come back at some future date if folks have more questions for
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Our
so
goal
much.
is to get the guidance to you, and whatever way works for us. We greatly appreciate you having us on so that people know that we're here to assist them. The cheapest way on Amazon, on the business side of us, is the ebook for people that can do that because it's only $5.95. But because it's so important, we've selected the pictures in those books, and we're sending energy directly to you through those pictures on a non-mental verbal level to the right hemisphere. Spirit goes through the right hemisphere of your brain. And so they're printed in high quality in color because of the pictures, and they tend to run a little more than the cheaper paper on black and white. But it is because it's so critical that we communicate to you, not just verbally, but non-verbally, to engage both parts of your brain. So no meditating on the pictures, you can non-verbally get the message as well as reading. And thank you all for the opportunity to be such a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Wisdom Council. What an amazing night.
It was amazing.
Katie. That was
Now
Wisdom
Katie's
Council
back.
was amazing.
Yay. Hi, Katie.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm still kind of, it takes me a while to get out of the trance state. I'm here,
Yes.
but I'm kind of half here.
Wow, that
you're
was
amazing.
so inspiring. And I don't know if you all were doing it. We had so many questions, but I was taking notes the whole time because exactly what you said, the Wisdom Council said, everything is applicable to people. You know, even if it wasn't a question that you asked, I found gems in each one of them. So I just
Yes.
think that's so important to remain open. And that's why I thought having that call with the Wisdom Council was so great, because it just allows you to open up and just see yourself in a different way of like, okay, let me receive instead of trying to drive everything in a certain direction. And you had a question like that tonight about controlling. And I think that's like a human condition thing where, you know, I know a lot of people and myself, I know I'm I'm guilty of that as well, of like trying to make things fit that might not be fitting. So it really pays to speak to the wisdom council and just allow them to just give you whatever guidance they have, and you can take that and do with it what you will.
Well, probably everybody in human form works on that one. Even I, as Katie, when I didn't think after my husband passed away I'd have a roommate, and suddenly they were guiding me that Evan should come into my life and we were going to support each other. And he is the editor. He is the one that has supported me through all these spiritual things happening I didn't understand at first. But he's led a very different life than I have. We're 180-degree difference in our backgrounds. And to adjust to realizing I could not control him. You think you want to control your environment, but when there's somebody else in your environment, it's funny, I don't control my dogs that way. But that was the hardest lesson for me to learn, is to respect and support him on his journey and realize his has been very different than mine. And I'm more of an alien. He calls us femalians. I'm more of a because he had never even lived in a household with a female more than a few months in his life and had not lived with anybody for 20 years. So you can imagine what it was, a change to merge two lifestyles. Wow. But the Wisdom Council was just very clear that we made this agreement before we came into this life. But even with me knowing that, it is hard to just say, this is Evan, love and appreciate him, when it's infecting my environment.
Yes, we get that totally. We get that totally.
So I get the same message the person that asked the question about control gets. To practice the release of control and just loving kindness and acceptance is a challenge, I think, to all of us in physical form.
It is. And we appreciate all that advice so much. So ladies and gentlemen, we are definitely going to have Katie back on the show. And again, you can always direct your questions right to her at the Wisdom Council. That's all the information that you need. And $24.95, that's ridiculously nothing, guys. And it's a half an hour.
Well,
and like I said,
I mean, I think it's a really a great investment in something. You can go out and you can have something to eat, but this is like spiritually and soul nourishment, Yeah. I just think it's really awesome. I really appreciate this. And I'm going to go order the books. I'm really excited.
Like they say, they really want you to take it. They really mean that sincerely, because they're offering guidance, but your spirit knows what's right for you in this moment. They want you to take that inside and just feel whether that resonates as truth. And then you incorporate it. But if not, you don't, because you're the one in charge of your life. So getting the guidance is very important. It's like a hotline to non-physical while you're still stuck with the brain and in the physical body.
I love it.
But incorporating it is your spirit needs to be part of that decision to know what's right for you.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Katie. Thank you.
Katie. We're going to bring you in the back. Don't go anywhere. We want to be able to say goodbye to you. So just wait there for us. We'll be right there. Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Unbelievable. I love it. I'm so inspired, and I just love that. It's just we are meeting the coolest people through Open Minded Mystics, and I'm so grateful for that.
Being open-minded and being a seeker, I think, is so important. But it's nice to actually have other people to do it with, like you ladies, that I love so much, because I don't know. I feel like you really get to say, "Did you just hear that? Did you hear that?" Because a lot of times when you're seeking and you're on that journey by yourself, as much as it's really awesome, it's really nice to make the connections and, just go, wait a minute, did that give you the chills? Did you, it's really awesome. So thank everyone that was open enough to ask questions. And when we have Katie back on again, we'll ask if the Wisdom Council will make another appearance. And maybe those of you that were a little quiet and shy in the background might feel a little bit more bold and ready to ask some questions. But that was really great.
It was fabulous. And I felt, it's funny because that one question I asked is a question I always think about, like, why did this happen to me? Like, out of all the things that could have happened, and I don't complain. I mean, it's a blessing. If you're going to have to get something, be hard of hearing, because you can get hearing aids and pretty much have it taken care of. But I figured if she's here, I might as well ask. And it was a great answer.
When you asked that question, I really did think what went through my mind was but you're hard of hearing in the physical, but you're not hard of hearing in the spiritual.
No.
So I just think that it probably just enhances it. That's just
I think I'd have to. It did. So yes, but it was
because
great.
it quiets down the noise out here, so you could hear what's going on in there. But
And with my new hearing aids, I keep saying, "Oh my gosh, the world is so loud." I forgot the world was so loud.
yeah, it's like meditation is a spiritual hearing aid. You know what I mean?
Yes,
That's what it is.
exactly.
Again, I
Exactly.
want to put the poster up for May 22nd. That's going to be here before you know it. That's next Monday. I want to let everyone know that we will not be on air next Monday. We'll be live and in person if you want.
Yes.
And we changed it from Wednesday to a Monday because we heard the call. So many of you said that you couldn't make it on the Wednesday. So we are really looking forward to May 22nd. And if you notice the color orange, because we are doing some second chakra work. Say that 3 times fast. Second chakra work. I can't say it 2 times fast. And I'm really excited about that because that's all about play and fun. And, you know, Kim's going to teach us all of that good stuff. But lately,
Inner child.
Yeah, that's the inner child. I love the inner child. So we'll hear her and heal her at the same time, hopefully. So, all right, you guys.
All right, ladies. Well, I love you. And everyone out there, have an amazing week. And thank you for tuning in with us. Tell your friends. And we hope to see you at one of our live events. Have a great one.
Have a great one. Love, share, and subscribe. That's it.
Yes.
See you later.
Subscribe, change the vibration of the global population.
That's right. We're going to elevate